Hey everyone, it's the Outlaw John Rocha here with my non-spoiler review for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania here on the Outlaw Nation. Thank you so much for hitting play on this video. I appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel down below before we start anything. Subscribe to the channel down below. Really marching towards those 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So would appreciate y'all coming aboard the Outlaw Nation train and subscribing to the channel. Okay, overall, here are my feelings about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I absolutely loved it. I couldn't believe it. I walked in with so much trepidation. I'd seen some of the mixed reactions from people whose opinions I respect, and I walked into this thing and I was like, oh man, is this going to disappoint me? Is this not going to make me laugh? Am I going to think this is too weird? Are they shoving together too many different tones that don't really connect, or is it going to feel like two different movies or three different movies all happening at the same time? And for me, I'm proud to report and tell you that it is not what happens in this film. I enjoyed it. I liked the way they fit everything together. Really enjoyed the seamless transitions for me of the tone here. We go from serious to funny to humorous back to serious throughout this whole movie. The basic stakes of the film is that Catherine Newton, who is playing Cassie Lang here, she's essentially taken into the quantum realm. She is used by Kang, Jonathan Majors here appearing as Kang, as collateral for Scott Lang to get him to have access to something that he has lost, and he needs that something in order to launch an invasion. Everybody ends up in the quantum realm, and they're all trying to stop Kang from doing what he wants to do. That's essentially the overall premise of the movie, and it is a wonderful thing to behold in the quantum realm. I'm telling you, the visuals, the design of this whole thing is just stunning, absolutely stunning. I found myself just transfixed by what I was seeing here. It was incredible to behold. The quantum realm was so alive, so electric, so vibrant, so interesting. The characters we meet down there, I think, fit perfectly into the Ant-Man universe in so many ways. Again, for better or worse, fit into the Ant-Man universe as well. I like the story. I like the stakes here. I believed Paul Rudd, but this is the best performance as Ant-Man and Scott Lang that I think Paul Rudd has ever done. He's really dialed into this character, dialed into the stakes of what's happening here with his daughter Cassie, the furthering of the relationship with him and Hope, what's going on in his life right now. It's all there on display, and I enjoyed seeing Paul Rudd tap into his dramatic tendencies, which he has every once in a while, to kind of balance some of the humor in the film. How he goes is how the film goes, right? And I think that's really important to note. This film, as I said earlier, mixes tones of drama and humor, and it is Paul Rudd's performance where it all really kind of centers, and he's the one driving the ship emotionally of the movie, and I really enjoyed that. Jonathan Majors, as you've seen, as you've read already, is an absolute standout in this movie. Seeing him embrace this version of Kang, the power, the talent, the uniqueness in his approach as an actor to these scenes is just incredible to behold as me as an actor watching an actor and understanding what he's doing, what he's trying to convey, how he's trying to play in between the lines, all these things that you watch really great actors understand how to do. Jonathan Majors does. But Michelle Pfeiffer matches him beat for beat. She is fantastic in this movie. I really enjoyed her. It's so great to be reminded that this is an A-lister. This woman led movies for decades, and when you give her a chance to do so, she can command the screen, drive the emotion of the movie, and be a good protagonist to the Kang antagonist. So very interesting stuff, and their back and forths in the movie are some of the biggest selling points of the film, in my opinion. Michael Douglas does good work here, of course. Always good to see Michael Douglas, a pro, coming in doing great work. Catherine Newton, I thought, did a nice job with Cassie Lang. She's not extraordinary. She's not a standout. At this point, I'm not seeing the reason why you recast Cassie Lang at this point. Really enjoyed what Furman brought to the role. So having Newton come in and do her, I thought she was good. She's a good actress, but didn't really stand out that much to me. That being said, she does have some really nice moments in the movie. The Bill Murray cameo works. I enjoyed that. Him coming in and doing what he's doing is fantastic, and I enjoy that. The action sequences really work. The way they take their time pacing out this movie, I thought Peyton Reed did a really nice job pacing out this movie, introducing things when it was the right time to introduce these things, and where he wanted to have them slide in, and what he wanted them to overall push, how he wanted them to overall push the narrative forward of what's happening here. So to me, I found myself just thoroughly entertained, thoroughly enjoying this thing, just going along for the ride. I like the twists and turns. I like that there's some mystery here. I like that we find out that certain things have been kind of held back and not told, and what does that mean, and who and why did that happen, and how does that affect all the relationships. A few things that I didn't 100% like. I think they should have given us a little more time with Cassie and Scott, in my personal opinion, before we get thrust into the action and the stakes of the movie. I would have liked a little more time to see Catherine Newton as Cassie, a little more time to see what's been going on with Cassie, a little more time to see the dynamic of Scott and Cassie and how it's changed since he came back. Are there some convenient moments, some convenient plot stuff that happens? Yes. Do I think there are some convenient characters that are servicing the plot and not really fleshed out enough in the film? Yes, and I do think that's a little bit of a cop-out at certain moments, but the film is so good overall that it didn't 100% bother me, and that's the gift of a film that works. Sometimes you ignore these things because you caught along with the overall gist and the overall thrust of the movie, and I was for sure in this one. What else? Oh, and is there a certain character missing that I am just heartbroken isn't in the film? Yes, 100%. I think you know who I'm referencing. And when because that person isn't in the film, I think there's a little bit something that's missing in the film for sure. So to wrap up, I'll say this. I thoroughly enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and it is now my favorite of the Ant-Man series. Not even kidding. I went in with so much trepidation, as I mentioned earlier, but I walked out of it just loving what Peyton Reed did here. Yes, Jonathan Majors is a superstar in this one and teases what is sure to be some fantastic back and forths with some of the great actors in the MCU. If they get this right, Kang will reverberate in the MCU and with us for a very long time. But don't sleep on Michelle Pfeiffer, who matches Majors beat for beat. Paul Rudd is a joy in this one, and he brings a nice mix of comedy and drama to his work. And I liked what they did with MODOK. I really enjoy it. I know that's going to be a divisive thing, but I like the way they used MODOK in this movie. As I said, are there convenient moments, convenient characters? Yes. Do I think Catherine Newton is a huge standout in this movie as Cassie Lang? No. But overall, I did buy into the relationship by the end of the film. But I enjoyed the heck out of this one all in all, and it had the right mix of humor, stakes, action, awe, and emotion for me, and I highly recommend it. And by the way, there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene, so stick around for that. 4 out of 5 cowboy hats for me. I'll have a much more deeper or in-depth spoiler review coming. I'm going back to see it again tomorrow night. And of course, the Geek Buddies will have their spoiler review as well when we all get a chance to see it over the weekend, possibly live on Sunday night. So look out for an announcement on that. All right, well, let me know what you thought about it when you get a chance to go see it down in the comments section below. Let me know what you thought about this review in the comments section below. Hit a like on this video, share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel. That's the big thing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. That's my goal this year by the end of the year. Help me do that. We're already passing almost to 26,000. So let's get down there and subscribe to the channel. Also, head on over to my Patreon if you want to support all we got going on the Outlaw Nation channel. I mean, the Jedi Way, the Hot Mic, the Geek Buddies, all of that could use your support. So if you want to support us in what we're doing here, head on over there to Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha, and pick a tier that works for you. All right, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is out this weekend. Go and see it. And I'll talk to you next time with a brand new non-spoiler review here on the Outlaw Nation.